Dune. One of the most anticipated films of the year, unsurpassed Denis Villeneuve in the director's chair. Half of the tickets for the morning show were redeemed a week ago. This is not surprising, because this is the kind of movie you need to watch in IMAX 3D in order to fully appreciate all this magic that the creators of this monstrous project have prepared for us. I returned from the cinema and I hastened to share with you the emotions that I experienced while watching Dune. So, let's begin. To begin with, I would like to note that I have not read no one book on the Dune universe by Frank Herbert, on the basis of which the film was made. Several years ago I started watching the film adaptation David Lynch 1984, but I didn't even last until the middle. In my opinion, the film turned out to be so unfortunate that my brain apparently tried to erase it from memory, so when watching the version Villeneuve's Dune, I plunged into this world almost from scratch and I was utterly afraid that not knowing lore of this vast universe, I either do not understand much, or I get confused. But my fears turned out to be in vain. The script was written very competently and in portions provides visual information that is necessary at the moment. This is not done head on and not at the expense of a huge text on the screen, and this is what many fantastic tapes sin. For the first time in a long time, it is very difficult for me to collect all my thoughts in a heap in order to gradually tell you about the pros and cons, because everything inside me just screams with delight. I will say more, for me this is the best film of the year so far. But let me briefly describe to you the plot. The influential Atreides family is sent to the planet Arrakis to monitor the extraction of the spice of the most important substance in the universe. Previously, this planet belonged to the Harkonnen house, who terrorized the local Freeman people. Baron Harkonnen does not intend to give the Arrakis to the Atreides, because the one who owns the sand dunes has tremendous power. The main character is the heir of the house of Atreides, named Pol. In his dreams he sees a girl from the Fremen tribe and images of a future that do not bode well. Frankly, I have not been so amazed by what I saw for a long time. Even blockbusters like the Avengers finale did not evoke such emotions in me. Perhaps I will now say a terrible thing for someone, but the era of Star Wars is over. Against the background of the creation of Villeneuve, films about the distant galaxy look like something catchy, frivolous and whipped up. This is especially true of the latest trilogy. What distinguishes it from other projects of a similar level, first of all, is the fusion of auteur cinema with the vision of Villeneuve himself in a multi-million-dollar blockbuster. This rarely happens in the industry. Watching Dune cannot be attributed to ordinary viewing. It is a full-fledged experience, an audiovisual orgasm. At times it seemed as if I was being immersed in a trance, and the divine soundtrack by Hans Zimmer played a huge role in this. I do not even dare to call it just fantasy. This is a real cosmo opera. From the first minutes I fell in love with this world. Costume design, rituals, various technology, architecture and the like. Denis Villeneuve and the whole team that worked on the film did a tremendous job. The prohibitive level of elaboration, and what kind of casting, is one of the best in my memory. So many amazing actors, as already deserved, and yet quite young. The only thing that can upset you is the ending. There is a residue that you watch the first episode of the future movie series, which will stretch for years. Someone may attribute this to the disadvantages, but I would rather attribute this to the advantages, because the creators do not set themselves the goal of shoving hundreds of pages of the novel in 2 hours of screen time. They gradually immerse the viewer in this wonderful world. While the film cannot be called slow, although earlier Villeneuve was often criticized for the meditative nature of his paintings. In general, I admire Denis Villeneuve and his team, and I will look forward to the sequel to once again plunge headlong into the world of Dune.